Right, so Jujutsu Kaisen's the best show out right now. It's the hype right now. I mean, Attack on Titan is technically, with all the controversy, CGI and all that, but we're not going to talk about that right now. We'll talk about the new show. And this show, I'm not going to lie, is a bit overhyped. But before you dislike this video and get me removed from YouTube, I gotta say, this pacing is shit. Now you could be asking me, what the fuck am I talking about? Let me just explain it like this. When I watched the first episode of Jujutsu Kaisen, when it first came out, I wasn't that impressed. The animation was pretty good, and it was really good. Especially episode 2. I mean, the rotoscoping was unnatural, but it was alright. It was still good. And the characters are quite good as well. But when Itadori-kun, the main character, was introduced in the first episode, I wasn't really impressed. You know, it was pretty cool. Like he could go somewhere, but his slow character development wasn't really much. Later on in the show is it's better, definitely, but the pacing's so weird. I don't even remember the first episode. I just remember the fight and that's it. Obviously, his granddad and that. I thought the episode was pretty good with animation, composing, all this shit. So they're compositing, but that doesn't matter if the pacing is off. You're thinking, what? Why am I always saying pacing right now? Why do I keep repeating that? It's because the comedy, alright? The comedy is the lighthearted part of the show. And I don't remember shit. Like, I don't even understand what happened. You had all these uninteresting, unimportant characters that introduced, they just went disappeared. Not to be seen ever again. Like, the school, I remember, like, some PE teacher, his friends. Fuck, I don't even remember the other guy, but this is exactly what I'm talking about. I don't remember what they're talking about, just laughing, all this shit. Didn't focus at all. I couldn't even focus on what they're saying. It just went past. And then the fight happens. What? That's one of the problems with Jujutsu, and that's the first impressions. And then the rest of the show, it just skims past everyone. They get introduced. You see a bit of their backstory. Fushiguro, Fugishiguro, I don't know how to fucking say his name, but it doesn't matter. That guy, he's been done alright. I didn't see enough of him at the beginning, so I didn't understand enough of him, but I actually still don't understand a lot. But I like his character right now. Jujutsu Kaisen as a show, right now, up to when this is being uploaded, is actually doing quite well. The second core I'm actually really impressed with. I don't know if the director's changed or anything. The director is the same as God of High School, and that shit was a fucking failure. Animations, that was really good. What they did there with the motion capture and all that. But that's not what anime is. I mean, currently anime is just trying to go to our short attention span that audiences have been like recently. And I can get that. And that's why I think Jujutsu Kaisen popped off so much. That audiences right now, they just want to get to the action. You might say, no, that's not the case. That's not the case. Well, I don't believe that. When I'm watching Jujutsu Kaisen God of High School, when these things popped off, is because they went straight to the action, straight to the meat. And obviously Jujutsu Kaisen's doing much better because it has focused more on the story and the plot and everything, because it's going more to one with the manga, which from what I've heard, that wasn't done for God of High School. But that doesn't matter. We're talking about Jujutsu Kaisen, and it hasn't done a great job. Maybe going off the manga, going 1-to-1, that's done a really good job. That's what I've heard. It hasn't done a great job keeping me hooked onto the plot. So Itadori-kun, whatever his name is, he's done his job. He's become Sukuna's vessel, and he's suddenly part of the team. That's alright, we could have had one more episode to do with Fushiguro, his new best friend, his new best pal. I would like to episode just focusing on him, not his backstory, him and Itadori, but instead they go to their third partner, one part of the trio. You see their backstory and everything. Not a very interesting character, but I think they do well. You have to be an interesting one to be strong, I guess. She's doing alright right now, but the backstory, everything just thrown in there. I don't know if that was the best idea, and I wasn't really interested in her when they first showed her. These are some of the problems with Jujutsu Kaisen. Like later on in the show, we get introduced to these new cursed vessels. I think that was done pretty well. The horror of it was done quite well when it came to that special class one against Itadori and his gang, when they were sent there to be killed. Well, he was sent there to be killed because he's Sukuno's vessel. I'm not spoiling everything. He goes in the fight, it's popped up out of nowhere. That was done really well. I have to hand that to Mappa, not their CGI in Attack on Titan. But as I was saying, that was done pretty well. But it all ends so abruptly. But that's not as bad as the beginning, you know. That's me just nitpicking. I think the show's just been a bit overhyped because it hasn't focused on what it needs to. It's focused on how cool the fights are. It's not like how anime is these days, well, back in the day. Because when I thought of an anime fight, I didn't think about just the animation and how cool it was, you know? You think about what came before a fight. The meaning of the fight, the story of a fight. Naruto versus Sasuke, that fight was about two old friends. After what, 700 episodes, they have their final fight. And the story in the fight as well. Giga explains it in his video on how much detail they put into the animation and all that. But what I'm trying to get at is what comes before the fight. Jujutsu Kaisen hasn't really done that. It just went fight to fight to fight. Pretty cool fight to fight. It was more of a build-up with the cursed vessels. Maybe a bit more with Gojo Satoru during the fight. Then I would have liked him more, but that didn't really happen. But I won't lie, Infinity, whatever that power was, that's pretty cool. It's a sick idea. It's a new thing to add to the show, or anime in general. So I'm going to give those points there. But that show's overhyped. I'd give it around an 8. It does everything pretty damn well for shonen. Yeah, that is it. That's the problem. All the episodes, I forget some of the comedy so easily. Is that when they had to try and do those funny things. Naruto, that shit's easy to remember. This, nope. Every episode, nope. Obviously, some parts where the plot is comedy oriented, it's fine. But when they're adapting off the manga sheets, I think that's why Mappa's done a bit of a bad job over there. They're meant to be making it better. Demon Slayer done a really good job with doing that. Ufotable, great studio. They adapted it, but they changed it a lot. They didn't change the plot, but they changed the fights and made it look better. Demon Slayer as a manga, I don't think it's the best. I don't really know too much about it, but from what I've seen and heard, it's not the best. But Ufotable, that's what they made. They are the ones that made it a hype train. I guess Jujutsu Kaisen's Mappa has done the same job by adhering to the fans when it comes to animation, getting to the fights, making the fights look cool. But anime fights, they're not about how cool they are like that. What makes an anime fight cool is the story of the fight and what comes before the fight. I mean, I could bring a ton up right now, but I think the one that comes to my head the most is Obito versus Kakashi. There's tons of other videos on there that would explain that, but that's what comes to my head first. You want to show someone a fight, the animation's awesome, the story of the fight is awesome, the backstory of the fight is awesome. Sure, these anime have tons more episodes than Jujutsu Kaisen, but when you go to shorter shows like Code Geass, those fights are amazing because of the build-up of the fight, the way Lelouch, you just expect him to go do amazing things from what he's done before. It's just different. Explaining that is my job right now. If you can understand, then I guess I've done well enough. New anime fans, so ones who haven't watched as much anime as me, probably don't see my point of view. But you guys have been there through all this anime. I think you'll understand. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong audience right now, but I'm telling you this. Jujutsu Kaisen is overrated, and so is Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan I'll get to you in another video. Obviously, I think these are two great anime, but the amount of appreciation and love they're getting is a little too much, especially Jujutsu Kaisen. That show can get better from where it is right now. One more thing I'll add to that is actually Itadori's friend. That arc was done really well. My favourite character was obviously the salaryman, and the best fight of the show was the salaryman. I'm going to call him the salaryman, I forget his name. Great voice actor, great fight. He's got a really good skill as well. I think it's more interesting than Gojo's move, even though Gojo's a great character as well. Working overtime. He referenced it at the beginning of the fight, and when it happens, that was mad. But that's exactly what I'm talking about. Gojo, if he referenced his move before, but we couldn't understand it, I think it would have been better before the fight. But this is my nitpicking. This is me saying what I want to say is all my point of view. But I'm pretty sure it's a good point of view, good perspective, a right perspective. And Jujutsu Kaisen is overrated. Thank you for listening. And come back to our channel to go and hate on the Attack on Titan video. Shitty CGI. And I don't want to get hate by those fake Attack on Titan fans. And yeah, see ya.